Changes in effect as of today could allow the U.S. government to deport more people faster. Channel 5's Valerie Gonzalez with more on how it'll all work.
They're changing who can qualify to be placed into expedited removal. Previously, anyone in the country illegally for up to 2 weeks could be deported as soon as they were detained. Now, that window has been extended from 2 weeks to 2 years. Border Patrol and ICE agents will be asking immigrants they detain to show how long they've lived in the country. That will determine how they're processed. If they've lived in the country for more than 2 years, they will go through normal immigration proceedings. Anything less can mean they are placed in expedited removal.
And basically what that means is that you can be deported without having hearing with a judge.
Immigration attorney Jody Goodwin represents people with those orders. ICE Acting Director Matthew Albans says there's nearly 1 million people with final orders of removal. More than half of those are classified as fugitives with no legal recourse. Albans says they're working on how to implement the changes.
We're in the process of developing implementation guidance with regard to how we will operationalize the new policy.
People stopped by agents will be asked to show proof of how long they've lived in the country. That can come in the form of a variety of documents.
Home ownership, school records, medical records, church records, work records, any financial documentation, bank records.
The changes are part of law signed in 1996. In a press call this morning, Albans says it gives authority to quickly deport people who were in the country less than 14 days and within 100 miles of the border. He says enforcement won't be random.
Okay, first off, we don't racially profile. We conduct targeted enforcement actions against individuals that we know. So if we make a traffic stop on somebody after they've dropped their kid off at school, it's because we know who that individual is, we know who that car belongs to, and we know that individual is either here illegally in the country or has violated the terms of their lawful admission.
Goodwin is skeptical. She says most of her clients who have faced expedited removal historically are not part of enforcement actions.
In the panorama of people that I talk to that come to my office asking for legal help, very few have been subjected to a targeted enforcement action. Almost all of them are stopped or questioned on the street or stopped or have Border Patrol called on them at a traffic stop. And it's not related to a targeted enforcement action.
Albans explains they're doing this thinking of the thousands who continue coming, hoping they can stay.
Because there are those individuals that are looking to come to this country illegally, that if they believe that once they get past the Border Patrol, whether they get past and evade detection, or whether they turn themselves in and get released because we can't detain them, that there's not going to be any entity within the United States that's going to be out looking for them.
This is one of several recent changes targeting domestic immigration enforcement as a way to increase detention space and decrease the immigration backlog. For those who are stopped, Attorney Goodwin has the following legal advice. You can ask if you are free to leave or being detained. You can refrain from answering questions. If you are detained, you have a right to remain silent and the right to consult with an attorney. She also recommends carrying your documents dating back 2 years to show proof of residency. You can do that by keeping them in an accordion filing folder or by scanning your documents and creating a PDF file you can carry on your phone. In the studio, Valerie Gonzalez, Channel 5 News at